Okay guys, welcome back here. What we're going to do is, if you remember, we're doing Graham's 66 Ford Pickup. We showed you how to put the dropped I-beam axles in. Okay, now Graham brought us a flip kit to move the diff up on top. Rather than the diff normally sat below the leaf springs on this pickup, we're going to put the diff up on top of the leaf springs. And the difference is that it's going to bring it, it's going to lower it, basically the distance of the, fuck off Dave. Anyway, it's going to lower the distance of the differential housing. So this kit he brought us, it came out of Chassis Tech, and they seem to have many different things in here. I mean, I didn't supply the kit. We'll just show you. There's actually the axle thing that he got, or maybe this is it. No, that's it. It says early I-beam Ford. But there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's raising kits, lowering kits, there's air ride, there's everything. So like I say, I didn't supply the kit. Dean and Graham brought me the kit, so this is what we're working on. So the first thing you're going to notice in this kit was he got new leaf springs. He got new leaf spring pads, he got the U-bolts, all the nuts and all the goodies that go with that. So what you got to do is you come over here, this is your stock differential. And now the stock diff, like I said, the pads are on top of the diff, so the rear end would mount underneath your leaf spring. Your leaf spring would go like that. But we're going to flip it, so we're going to mount it the opposite way. They give you these brackets right here. Now they basically have made this kit, I'm assuming, for somebody that hasn't got a welder at home, because they consider it's just a bolt-in kit, like I say. So, normally, the average guy that would have a welder would probably cut these off and take these and weld them, let me get my hand around here, would weld them where they belong on the diff. But, they say it's a bolt-in kit, so what you got to do is they tell you right in the instructions that you're going to have to, this is how it is originally. You can see I've cut this one down. You're going to have to cut this, and the reason you're cutting it is they tell you to put it up inside of there, if you can see that up close there. So it's fitting inside of the original one. And it really, once it's bolted down, you think about it, this is sitting on the leaf spring now, you put your U-bolt clamps on, it really can't go nowhere. So there is no need to weld it. But if you want to weld it, go right ahead. If you want to cut that off because you don't like the look of it, you could. I mean, really, you know where it's going. But anyway, so that's your first step, is to figure it out, shave it down, make it fit in there, and that's the first step. Now the second step over here is they give you these brackets. You're utilizing your factory bracket on the front of the frame. And if you look, your other bracket on the back is totally different because they give you these new springs. So what you're going to do is this piece, and you can only go one way. The grease fitting is going to go this way, because if you were to put it this way in here, I hear you back there, Dave. If you were to put it here this way, the grease nipple would hit inside in this pocket. So it can only go this way. You can't really fuck it up. So it's going to go in there like that. Once it's in there, we've got one over here sitting here for a sample. Now this isn't finished, it's just hanging. You can see exactly what I mean. And I don't know, I took the grease nipple out just so it wouldn't break. But there we go. So that would face there. You're going to run your bolt through, grade 8 bolts, run it through here, and there you go. That's going to sit in there like that. So what we'll do is I'm going to finish cutting down the bracket that I just showed you behind you here. I'm going to finish cutting that down, get that all set in place, and we got some new bolts on the way. Then we'll do another quick little update here as we're putting the differential in place, and hopefully this helps somebody out up there. So we'll be right back with you. Okay, so the next step, like I was saying, guys, is you take these brackets that they give you. It has a grease nipple hole. The grease nipple faces towards the back, as you can see, because these brackets are you're gonna put your bolt through here, they're gonna sit like that. If the grease nipple was on this side, obviously it's gonna hit there. But this kit, everyone has their own opinion, and I've got my opinion. This kit came with these neoprene bushings in here. That's what it come with. Well, you try and put it in there, and yes, obviously, you can see we're lubing everything up as we're putting it in there, so it's gonna slide in and out nice and easy. You can still see it right there. You can still see where. But this is what this fucking shit, this neoprene shit that I can't stand, this is what it does. Look at it. You go to put it in there, all it does is just break away. It's all broken here, like you can see that. I mean, I can't even explain it to you. Like, we'll go over here on the bench. You can see, this is what it was all doing. It was just shattering. And look at that. You can probably hear that in the camera, how hard it is. I mean, I can't do it now with this hand. But anyway, my strong moment is up. But it's just hard as a rock, no good. So we got some proper bushings that are actually rubber, pliable. Look at that. That actually go in there. Old school. Remember? Old school rules. So that's what we're doing now. So we're putting these bushings in here. They fit in there properly. Then you put your pin, obviously your pin's going to go through, now your bushings in there, and then we're going to mount these. So after we get these mounted, then we'll go on to the next step and we'll show you the diff going in. Okay guys, so the next step here, what we've done, is if you can imagine this, because you kind of missed out, because the two of us, we couldn't film and do it at the same time. We left the leaf springs hanging down in the front, so these bolts were not through, so your leaf springs are sitting down on the ground. We took the differential, rolled it up underneath the vehicle on a floor jack obviously, and you lift the differential up extremely high. Then the other person grabs this, put your bolt through, your leaf springs are now sitting there. Everything is still loose, we haven't tightened any of the bolts up. Then, if you can see this in this kit, I'm going to lift this off so you guys can see this. This is our piece that we were showing you earlier. We're going to pull that off of there. This piece here, there's two holes. In the instructions it says take the offset hole and face it forward. Now there's the bolt going through, so you're facing that. Now this is your original saddle. These are the new ones because you're obviously now the diff is going on top. So just set her. There you go. And there's your next step right there. Now after this, what we're going to do next is we're going to get into our U-bolts and put our brackets through and bolt everything down. The one thing I didn't mention at the very beginning of this video, because we didn't do it, Graham had done it, you have to C-notch the frame. And Graham had C-notched it 3 inches. So I apologize for that, I just completely forgot. We did not do this, Graham did this. He seems to have done a good job. And if he didn't, well, that's his fault. Anyway, so we'll move on and we'll be back in a minute with the next step. Okay guys, so the last step you saw was you were lifting it up, we had the diff in place. So now it's pretty basic, you guys can figure this out. You've got your bracket that goes underneath, you hold your bracket up in there. The bracket itself has a hole in it, which lines up with the bottom bolt or pin going through your leaf spring. Drop your U-bolts through, tighten them up. I kind of tighten them up a little bit in an angle. I'll go from this front corner to this one and this corner and that one to that corner. I kind of just I don't over tighten them. As you can see, still everything is loose. We've got to go around and snug everything up. But the rear end is in place. That's it. So that's pretty much it, how you're going to do the flipped axle on one of these 66 Ford pickups. Now keep in mind also, if you're wondering which way the leaf springs go, the eye on the leaf spring that goes to the back is at the very top. As you can see, comes up, it's at the top. And the eye that goes towards the front is in the center. Something else we didn't mention.
On the set, take 3.
Okay, here we are. We're oh boy. Okay, let's do take 4. Anyway.
Okay, quiet on the set. Take 4.
4. Okay. Well. Oh shit. Can we go? Start over now.
No, we're just going.
5.
Okay, here we are, guys. We're back. As you can see, we got the tires and wheels sitting here. Now, of course, there's no weight on the frame, but overall, this is a 5-inch drop. Whether you believe it or not, it's a 5-inch drop. And you can see exactly why you C-notched it, because when weight is on there, you can see the original rubber bumper stop. It's pretty. Now, of course, keep in mind, when you go to buy your shocks, you need to get shocks, aftermarket shocks, different ones that are a little shorter. So you'll have to figure that out for measurements, but that's about it. And there we go. And we'll get back to you shortly. Be quiet over there, Dave. So, that is it. Hopefully that's a good how-to for you. If even one person picks up on one thing and helps them out, that's great. And if not, well, remember, it's always a good time at Old Time. Look us up on oldtimegarage.ca and check us out on Instagram. Okay, we'll see you later.